laugh has been described as a chuckle.
Right.
Oh, the British guy, I know.
Yeah, you know, that one British
Well, there's
British teenager.
If you feel the need to read it, check it out from the library.
I don't
Support your local.
Told the parent. No. And we are the Bookies. Hey there, people of the interwebs. Are we recording? We are recording. Good. I've been having technical difficulties. So, hey there, people of the interwebs. This is Brandon Noel, your favorite painter and cartoonist and author. Before we dive into today's episode, I just want to remind you of patreon.com/destinycomics. Patreon.com/destiny COMIX .com. Is .com at the end? Patreon.com. No, it's patreon.com/destinycomics. You know, if you're listening to this, chances are you're a voracious reader. We offer bookmarks, the Book of the Month Club, all kinds of cool stuff, original art. And we can't keep doing the podcast without supporters like you. So thank you. And also Destiny Comics .weebly.com if you're interested in buying our books directly from us. Most of our books are available on Amazon.com. The 8-Bit Pulp short story anthologies as well as a lot of others. But you know, it's you know, every little thing helps. We are very small. We basically run this out of our living rooms, and you know, everything helps. And so thank you for your support. And this month's book is Twistrose Key by
Almhjell.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that name, so this is what we've done.
Almhjell.
With that said, Twistrose Key, really fun kids animal book. I was pretty rough on it originally, but after living with it for a couple of months, you know, I've changed my mind. It's a fun kids book, especially after, you know, World War Z and the road and some of the darker affairs that we've been reviewing. So yeah, I hope you enjoy our in-depth review of the Twistrose Key.
Belly's fun.
You still have your Nerf controller?
Mine was you had the fat one?
No.
You broke it?
Yeah, it's done.
It's funny though.
I got the thick PS2, the original
with the actual disc tray that pops out.
Yeah.
I have a first gen Xbox 360. That's the Gears of War edition.
Nice.
And it even has a little red button on the bottom that you keep bumping by accident, and it throws your shot placement all over the place.
I remember back when
I had an original NES and a box of games for it.
Good job.
So do I. I have an
That is the only video game system I have owned.
You could probably sell that for quite a bit.
No.
You have no intention of selling it.
I have no
Right now
intention
they're
of
about
selling it. I've
200.
got games.
I have a
When was the
Wii, a
last
Wii
time
U, and a
you-
Switch.
When was the last time you played
I'm
it?
a Nintendo girl.
When was the last time you saw it?
Well, the great thing about the Wii is that, at least for the initial models, you can
About
still
5
put
years
the
ago.
GameCube discs in them and play
Uh-huh.
GameCube games.
We have all my
Yes.
GameCube games
Uh-huh.
too.
That's why I haven't got rid of it.
Yeah.
And the memory cards.
Yeah.
Because we have the
I
Game
borrowed
Boy.
her Wii U to
Ah.
play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. I have Tears of the Kingdom.
Nice. Is it sucking up all of your time?
Hmm?
Is it taking all your time now?
Well, I've only
Not
got to
as
play
much.
it one day.
Not as much as she would like.
Ah.
Well, technically it's a birthday present, so I didn't open it until Thursday. My birthday's still a little bit away, but we made a deal. I could have it early. I mean, it came the day it was released because he pre-ordered it,
Oh,
and
okay,
it sat in the bedroom in its thing for a month.
Just taunting you.
Better
We
willpower than me.
We had your birthday present, but we forgot to bring it. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I don't know where it is. Sorry. We'll
Sorry.
get it eventually.
What's that?
Brandon's birthday was in April.
Oh.
Haven't seen them. It's somewhere.
That's all right.
We'll give it to you on Mayleen's birthday.
Sounds alright.
All right. We are the Bookies.
Yay!
Yay. I am Brandon Noel.
I'm Justin Stallard.
Bonnie Stallard.
Wayne Abraham.
David McFarlane.
Luis Lopez.
Maylene Noel.
And this month we are reading the Twistrose Key by Tone Hidam.
I don't know it's an original. I don't know how to pronounce it.
That was fantastic.
Almhjell.
Almhjell. I don't know, something like that.
Almhjell.
Almhjell.
The J is pronounced like
And it might be tone instead of tone. I don't know.
Tony Almhjell.
You really gotta put the accent on that.
Bonnie, this was your pick.
Yes.
Please summarize the plot, if there was a plot.
There's a plot.
What?
There's a plot.
Somebody needs to
Somebody doesn't like this book.
Somebody needs to tell me what the fuck happened.
There's more plot than
Hey, you have to finish the book.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
Loser.
really close.
It's you know, a childhood adventure into a magical world. The main character, Lynn Rosenquist, she ends up getting a mysterious key and entering this magical frozen land, and where she meets her recently passed away childhood pet, who was a red-backed vole, and now he is the same size as her and can speak. And in their land, they only call a Twistrose, which is just a child, when there's dire need. And there's dire need. She has to save the world.
I would say that's pretty dire.
Before midnight, basically. But time moves differently in this world, so it seems like several days. But it's before midnight. And they have many adventures, and she does save the day and return to her own world. There were... Some people had just gone missing. There were bad guys plotting to destroy things. They vanquished everybody. Everybody lived happily ever after. This is a kid's book. Well, young adult, anyway. You know, middle school, whatever.
It is definitely YA.
It was like geared to.
But we've read other kids' books. We've read the Michael in Time, which is less of a kid's book at this point in day and age because it's hard to read for kids.
I'd say this is
We've
geared
read
for
Harry Potter or stuff like that.
13-year-old girl.
13-year-old girl. Yeah, that's fair enough. So it's one of those that I found at the Dollar Tree like 10 years ago and was like, cool.
It's $1.
It was $1. And I really liked it. So
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. I liked
anyway. Oh, now we do the likes and stuff.
Likes, yeah.
it. All right, go, Justin.
I'm along for the ride. at
Justin's
this
along for
point.
the ride. He did not finish the book.
I could
I don't
not.
think he started it.
I
He
could
started it.
not.
I mean, you
just-
made it to chapter 2, guys.
No, I made to chapter 7.
Chapter 7! Oh, I am so off.
I just could not get my head into
Sleeps
it.
at night.
And
Really hard.
just-
Yeah.
He
So,
has
I'm-
had a hard time reading in general. He's been very busy and very tired, and so he sits down to read and falls asleep. And,
I will,
Yeah.
because
Don't blame
we'll
him.
talk about it later, because we both do the audiobooks.
Yeah.
but there wasn't one.
There wasn't one, but if you have a Kindle, Alexa can read it out loud to you. And
She
so,
must not be named.
yeah,
We
sorry.
don't want her to respond
Sorry.
when we speak of her.
I have it set to a different code word at my house.
Yes, yeah, oh, yeah. Well, she's not set. She's set to that, so we just refer
Alright.
to
We
her.
say computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Bailey
Just
House does that too.
computer. That's so
Computer.
plain.
No, computer, like on Star Trek.
Well,
My sister's family has that.
I wanted it to be Rosie, like the Jetsons, but Rosie isn't a
Isn't
keyword.
an option, yeah.
So
So when we refer to her, we refer to her as she who must not be named.
she must not be.
Yes.
But I'll show you before I leave how to get it to read to you.
No.
Yes.
No, it's close
Well, it
to
has to.
No.
Is he who is not?
Yeah.
to be
No,
named.
no,
Close
that's
to Voldemort
Voldemort.
is what it
He who must not be
is.
named.
As
but
for
it's-
the unspeakable.
Oh,
Before
well.
Voldemort came along.
Fine, I haven't read all of those. Anyway, I enjoyed it, but I liked the whole. Well, first of all, it's written. It was originally not even written in English. It was written, we've read a couple books like that. So I like.
Chestnut Man.
Yeah. I like that there are certain things that are very. Obviously from another culture, oh my goodness, waffles are apparently a big thing over there. Who knew?
I'm willing to bet they're not like the kind of waffles we know.
They probably aren't, even though we did Belgian waffles tonight. They're probably not even real Belgian waffles. They were California waffles. We made them here.
What the hell's a California waffle?
One made in California. I don't
Probably
know.
has avocado.
Avocado and bacon, yeah, stuffed waffle. We didn't do that, but we have the thing for it. I enjoyed that it was different, and I mean, yes. Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. The kids go through a magic door into a snow world, but in this case, the world wasn't cursed with snow. It just happens to be winter time, and a whole big winter fest.
It's just real damn cold.
It really is. And she's in her pajamas, and you're like, oh, you poor thing. But she gets warmer clothes, guys. She gets warmer clothes. It's fine. But I liked her whole troll hunter thing that her and her buddy had made up, and then how it transfers over because the nightmares of this world are created by children. So she actually has to deal with some of the trolls she and her friend made up.
That's interesting.
So I enjoyed that. I liked that there were different trolls that have different trolls bane, and so if you don't have the right thing, you can't deal with the troll. And there was a moment where she's like, "Wait, you called this a cold oak? Oak tree acorns. That's all I need. Ha ha! We'll defeat these bad guys because these weren't the ones we thought they were." And the winter first whole thing where their soul is outside their body was an interesting concept. Reminds me of the Ood a little bit because it's a glowing orb thing. That's their soul and all that. So there was lots of things, but I'm the one who suggested it. So let's go around the table and see what everybody else liked, and if somebody doesn't say something that I wanted to mention, I'll rebuttal. How's that? Wayne, aka my dad.
Well, I like books. I like fantasy books. I also like books for young adults. I've read a lot of them, so I enjoyed this one.
I was fully expecting a butt. Right.
He read it before too. Technically.
I've read it. I'd read this one before as
Yeah, what,
as
10 years
well.
ago or whatever it was.
You know,
There will not be a but there will be a however.
it starts off with Lynn outside at the rose bush because that's where it was. Her pet Rufus was buried, and she's had great trouble getting over that.
Well, moving didn't help.
And the family moved, and just a variety of things. She is not loving life, and a package gets delivered, a cryptic poem and this metal key that looks like it's made out of rose bush, and she follows Thrumming's stuff down into the basement and finds a mystic keyhole where rose roots have kind of damaged the wall, and she's still in her jammies and everything because she's inside, and she takes this key and she puts it into the hole and gets sucked into this other world full of snow and almost freezes to death before they get her to a warm spot. But waiting for her on the other side is Rufus, except he's now walking around, and he's
He's right and he talks.
Yeah, he's been Master Splintered, is what it is.
Yes, pretty much.
Basically.
So what's your favorite parts?
I enjoyed the opening and the transition. I enjoyed the land of silver with a Y that they called it, and I like the concept of the observatory. all of these former pets could go to the observatory, and they have a card that has their child's name on it, and they hand it over to whoever's working at the observatory, and they plug it in, connected to a mirror, and it shows them what that child is doing at this moment in time.
For as long as they're a child.
I was getting to that.
Sorry.
But there will come a day when it doesn't work anymore because your child is no longer a child. But it was. It's kind of one-sided, but I can see it's comforting to the pets who have passed beyond. But they have two groups. They have the petlings that were people's pets and basically live in town and kind of a coddled life, and then you have the wildlings that were pets that
were technically wild animals. That
technically
shouldn't have
wild
been
animals
pets,
and shouldn't have
were.
been pets, but and they do a lot of the foraging outside of the town and more dangerous activities. And so the way the society was divided up, and I enjoyed those. I enjoyed the caravan sled.
Yeah. Yes.
That's one of my favorite characters.
Absolutely. It's like carpet in Aladdin. How do you not love carpet? You just need a little music and action, and you're like, yes, this animated object is amazing.
The owl whose name slips my mind with her
Marcus? Not Marcus. Merkut?
Something like that. Some of the names were hard to pronounce.
It's the one that she's the one
They're
that
not
had
American names.
the
techno magic, yeah.
Machine.
Was that Mrs. Zarka?
Zarka.
Zarka.
That's
Zarka.
completely wrong.
Samsonite. I was way off.
And the way that worked as opposed to naturally flowing magics of the land, and it just not all of the bad guys were working together.
Yeah, that's true. And not all of who we thought were bad guys ended up being bad guys. Mm-hmm. Like they thought the fox was a bad guy. They weren't sure. We didn't know if we could trust him. Turns out he wasn't. He was good. He just wasn't sharing his secrets either.
But it was.
a fox.
Yeah, they're being sly about it. No. The magic axe.
That was interesting.
That was an important thing and interesting in the way that it worked. Rescuing the young prince and also his mom, and killing him accidentally. And
poor Ursa. I loved Ursa Minor, and
you're
just like, oh, I'm so sorry. He didn't mean to step on the snow globe soul.
Dumb bear.
He didn't even know it was there.
Good-hearted bear.
I
Silly old bear.
will say, in a weird kind of way, I liked that part. Not because, obviously I didn't want to die, whatever, but it's like, if you think about all the books that were ever written about this kind of adventure, where you gotta protect an object, it's like, you gotta think, in some adventures, something goes wrong, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
statistically speaking, at least one or two adventures have to end horrible in some way.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's like, oh, I can actually see that happening. Like, I could see some accident. Like, poor bear. I feel so bad for him, but at the same time, it's like,
he's the one who came out there to find the boy because that was his buddy. And
but at the same time, like, it's like, well, I can totally see that happening. Like,
somebody rolled a 1.
Exactly. Like,
and it is a fragile snow globe of all things.
like, overall, as far as the plot point goes, I felt bad. I did, but there was a part of me when I was reading, I went, wow.
Because you don't expect it. You're like, oh, yeah, and you're like, oh, crap.
My main reaction was to laugh and go, oh, I feel bad. It's okay. But
You're a monster.
I know.
Right?
That's my initial response. But because I think I didn't expect it, though, like, oh.
I am delighted that the cat got his just desserts.
Oh my gosh, the evil cat. Not there were good cats too, David, but the evil cat was
No,
evil.
He was my favorite character.
Of course he was.
The Killy Cat.
Feigenskar.
Of course he was. You always like the villain.
Well, I will say the villain.
He was a good villain.
He was a good villain.
He was a good villain.
And I kind of agreed with
He
it.
was smarmy, he was
Kill 'em all.
slimy. You were meant to dislike him, and if you aren't Dave, you disliked him.
Right.
So I enjoyed the book very much.
Good. David, what did you like?
I liked Feigenskar. He was my favorite. See, he's the grumpy guy.
Oh.
No, there always has to be some kind of villain that you hate him, but he played a really good villain.
He was a good
I liked
villain.
him.
Oh, he was a good villain. Yeah.
I liked the book. It was geared for a younger audience, but I enjoyed it. I liked the waffles.
It was David's idea for us to have waffles
Yep,
tonight.
we had
Good
waffles.
idea. It was a good idea.
Thank you for doing the waffles. That's a lot of work.
No.
Thank you.
It was a simple, pretty simplistic story.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything in detail that I really liked about it. It was just in general that I enjoyed it. It's a quick, easy read.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely surprised me. I never really expected when she went to the New World and all the animals that were previous pets to a human were now walking around and
Right.
talking. That kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting.
That
Yeah,
is
I thought it was really
unique.
cool.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. I'm like,
That was a very unique concept.
and then I loved how they wouldn't use profanity for the poop.
Parrot poop.
Yeah, they just what they call it.
Parrot dung, parrot poop.
Muck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Muck.
muck.
Yeah, muck.
They call it muck.
Muck.
Rufus used the word mold a lot when he meant
mold.
Like, he meant
Uh-huh.
like the F word. He would
Yeah.
just say moldy.
Mold. Like his
Yeah.
moldy cheese. If you're a vole, man, you don't want the mold on the bread or the cheese.
Yeah.
You want it to be good. Mold. Mold was mold. Yeah. There were some creative cuss words as
Yeah.
far as, for the setting.
Like I said, it was geared for children.
Yeah.
Or early
Yeah.
teen
Yeah.
girl. But on that, yeah, I enjoyed the book. It was a good read.
Cool. Lewis.
I enjoyed the book more than I thought I would. Like, it's been a while since I've read something along the lines of the Chronicles of Narnia.
Right.
And to a sense, it's kind of simplistic, but it was just comforting. Like, it was a nice, comforting book. I liked how it wasn't really suspensey, but as the mystery unfolded, you learned more about these characters, and they weren't always good things that you learned.
Right.
Because one of the pretty much the whole plot is they're trying to find this winter child named Isvin, I think is what
Yeah.
it was.
Yes.
Iceman.
And-
Iceman.
Oh, it might be Iceman. That's
Might
actually
be.
Because he's ice.
Iceman.
that's actually okay. Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah.
I was pronouncing Isfin in my mind too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was like Ivan, but there's an S between the I and the V, so Isvin. Iceman.
that makes
yeah.
perfect sense.
Iceman
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it does, actually.
And they're trying to figure out what happened to this kid, and then
Someone thinks they think he's been kidnapped,
Yeah.
and then we figure out no,
And they
he's
figured
trying.
out he ran away with all the
Mhm.
with all his waffles.
15 waffles.
It's like, wow, man.
And in the process, you learn a little bit about the other characters. Like, in my head, it was Theodore.
Yes, Theodore.
Like, he wrote this letter, and oh, maybe he's actually a bad guy. Oh, no, he's just complex. Okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
it was nice to see these different layers to these characters, and sometimes they were like shady, and it gave them a lot of depth.
Yes, I would agree.
One thing that I thought was funny and raised a ton of questions in my mind about the mechanics of this world is when Theodore first rescues Lynn/Rufus. They get taken in like a sled to his house, basically, and Theodore is ripping into Rufus. Oh, you idiot! Blah blah blah. Go do this thing. Attend to the horse. And then, in your head as a reader, you're thinking, oh, okay, he's gonna like take the horse into the stables, blah blah blah. And then Rufus says, all right, horse, whatever your name is, Fabian, I think.
Fabian,
You're
yeah.
probably as tired as I am. And then Fabian and like Mr. Ed goes, you know what? I am tired. Thank you very much, and please change my book. Like it's it's so weird to me because you don't expect that. You expect a horse to be like a sleigh horse. It's like doing its thing. But this is a world of animals that are human-like.
Right, and so he's like, yes, and yes.
He still looks like a horse. He has hooves. He walks like a horse does.
And he does
can't turn
pull
the
the card.
pages
You
on the
can't
book.
turn the pages on the book. Can you turn the pages for me? I can't read.
He's doing the horse's job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, other animals are like woodworkers and carpenters.
Right.
And, like making leather goods.
Seamstress.
But horses are just still doing their horsey thing. Like, okay.
I can't turn.
And you have Ursa Minor who's constantly breaking things.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's a bull in a china shop. No.
It's
a bear in a tea shop.
It was inappropriately funny to me because I don't think I was supposed to laugh as much as I did in that moment. It very much reminded me of like a BoJack Horseman kind of thing, like where the animals are suddenly very human but still doing their weird animal things.
Right.
It was so funny to me. I laughed at that and I shouldn't have.
No, it was funny though because you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like the book. It was very nice. Like I said, it was comforting. It was.
I like the
enjoyable.
irony of a peg-legged parrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As he just had, he had a pirate voice in my head. A pirate parrot. He was like Iago, but he had a peg leg. It's just, yeah. Sorry, I thought it was funny. Maylene.
I think I would have to agree with both Dave and Lewis. And Lewis in the fact that I laughed probably inappropriately long at that breaking of the thing.
Right.
I knew I shouldn't have, but it was
The
so
breaking
unexpected.
on the globe.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was such a oh my gosh moment, but at the same time I just was not expecting it.
I'd forgotten about that, so I was all over again. Oh,
I was like,
I know what just happened.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten that happened.
I had completely
And
forgotten
then
about it
Ursa,
too.
I'm like, oh, poor Ursa Minor, you tried.
It's so hard. He's so good at breaking things.
Your
He's got
intentions
such
were
heart.
good. Like I didn't even think about that. Like when they were walking around it, and then right when it, talk about it breaking, I'm like, oh, I should have been thinking about that.
Well, and just previously, Ursa was so agile and quick on his feet when running through like the woods and the mountains and stuff.
Right. But there was just enough snow,
Yeah.
and he was worried about intruders, so he's focused up and not down and crunch.
And then
Bye-bye, Ace-Fin.
I agree with Dave in the fact that there wasn't really too much like specifics I could get into
Right.
why I liked it.
Right.
But I feel like overall it was just a fun, easy, enjoyable read.
Mm-hmm.
It was one that I was able to get through fairly quickly, which is not always the case with me, because I'm kind of a slower reader. So
And for a book that's like 370 something pages,
Yeah.
as mine was, like it is a quick read.
yeah, and to the point, it was like mine was 354, and I liked the fact that it wasn't one of those books where I was like, oh my gosh, how many more pages do I have left?
Right.
Wasn't no 30-page chapter.
Yeah.
No, those chapters were nice and short.
Yeah, like 7 to 8 pages.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
Like that.
And they were quick enough that I was like, okay, cool. If I want to read 3 chapters before bed, I can do that just very easily.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So. but-
Brandon, who didn't finish.
Now, I made it to chapter 35.
Okay, I don't remember how many chapters there were.
There's
so.
41 chapters.
Oh, so you missed all of the end. You
I
missed
missed
all of the finale
the
and everything.
third act, just gone.
Completely gone. Yeah.
Where I left off was she was being tortured by the frickin' cat.
Yeah.
So
So you missed all the good stuff.
I'm not really worried that it's good.
Let's make it an evening and then just convince Brandon.
Oh yeah, totally.
We're just gonna make up an ending for you.
They all sat down and had espresso. It was great.
And Kumbaya was always.
Yeah.
And then the cat.
The cat won. Yeah, the
Cat
cat
won.
killed everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
died. Literally everyone.
And then pooped on their blankets.
Amanda walked in with a
You mean
fedora and-
mucked on their
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He
Mucked
mucked.
on their blanket.
Yes.
Mucked on their blankets.
Mucked
Knocked on their
everyone out.
moldy blankets.
So I will say the nightmare area was pretty cool. I liked all that. The army of nightmares. That's good fuel. Them sneaking around dealing with the nightmare stuff. I'd say probably my favorite part. The Wayne mentioned it earlier, but the sled.
Yeah,
When
the
you
sled was
find-
cool.
When you find out it was sanctioned entity, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, you must have done something to earn
its respect. Yeah,
It's like, I fixed it.
fixed it. Not perfectly, but good enough. It works. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I like that was just fun stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Cool. Justin, what did you like in the first 7 chapters?
I don't know. It seemed to be written well enough for the 7 chapters that I read.
Did you like the waffles?
You didn't get to the waffles. No Waffle House yet. I wanted to eat the waffles. That scene made me want waffles so bad, and I was like, it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm laying in bed reading, like, man, I need some waffles.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
I think I read that at night too. The next day, I think I remember mentioning to Brandon, hey Brandon, you want some waffles?
Waffles. Because you could almost
People
smell
would be
them
like,
talking about the vanilla and the
not
cinnamon
really.
and the honey, just all these things, and you're like, oh,
That sounds good, right?
that
now.
sounds good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will say one other thing I like.
Yes.
I like the fact that the little girl kept getting beat up.
Dude, she got injured so much.
Wait.
That sounds wrong.
You like the child violence?
Normally, he gets upset about other books that treat the children badly, but in this one, no.
It's the okay.
Because she's supposed to be the hero who saves everyone, and she's
It's the-
constantly injured and having to get patched up.
It's
I get
like
it.
one of my favorite wrestlers.
keep going, keep going.
Dig yourself a little
Dig
deeper.
yourself- No, one of my favorite wrestlers was DDP.
Let me give you a shovel.
And I don't know if it was real or fake, because wrestling, you never know.
Right?
But he would always come out with these taped ribs. Because it's like, oh, he's playing hurt. He's going to wrestle through the pain.
Right.
You know, so I appreciate that. That was the only thing I saw that she actually did was really heroic. Was like, I'm pulling glass out of my wrist.
And
I'm
keep going,
ripping
yeah.
stitches out.
Right, yeah.
Like, the hero keeps going.
Yeah.
She played hurt.
She did.
That was something I did
Yeah.
really get into.
Yeah. And
See,
she
that's
was
the way to phrase that.
yeah, that's the way to phrase that. That's much better. And
Much better than the fact that, I loved when the child got hurt.
she was clever, and she had such an imagination, and maybe that's why I liked her, because I'm the imaginative kid, or was, and so I could identify, make up these games, and and make a whole summer of fun hunting down trolls, and all this stuff, but she was good with the puzzle pieces. She started to figure things out. She's the one who figured out why he ordered so many waffles before he left. He didn't get taken. He went on a journey, on an adventure. We got to go find him.
Yeah, but they didn't say that before. They said, he just came there and ate waffles all the time, and then one day he just ordered like 15 orders.
He ordered a whole bunch of waffles,
And
they're
then
like,
that's when I knew he left. He
yes,
wasn't abducted.
right. But she figured it out. She
Yeah.
figured it out. No one else had figured it out.
Yeah.
I mean, as the reader, you may figure it out already, but
Oh, yeah,
no one
as
else
soon as he
in the
ordered
story
15
had,
of
right?
them,
You're like,
yeah.
he's going on a trip.
I mean, who wouldn't though? I mean, if you're ordering
Right.
one and
Well,
then
when
sort
he
of order
can't
15,
speak and he's just trying
15
to
to go, it's like, where are you going?
I found that interesting too, that he couldn't speak because his mom hadn't been able to make the mask to help him, so he couldn't speak normally. He, like, has to gesture and try to,
But
like,
he could write.
he could write.
But the bear couldn't read.
Yeah. That didn't help. He tried.
He could step on snow globes.
Yes, he can.
Snow globe,
Kill
wouldn't
his
believe it.
dearest friend, yes.
Kill us,
Right? Just make it the worst. He got saved at the end, okay? She almost got killed. There was so much magic going through that place, The cat was, he didn't even have to touch her to torture her at that point. But it ends up,
Where I left off is he was booting up the mirror
but in the last piece. Yeah.
that he got from her.
The piece she'd ripped out that we didn't think was
Yeah.
important until all of a sudden, oh, that was important. It wasn't just, oh man, ow, and I'm working through this. It wasn't just working through the pain. It actually was an important piece, literally. I didn't know. Right.
There's like, I'm done.
I found it
I'm
interesting. I
done.
don't know. I felt there were certain things that were unique to the story and interesting and creative, and I appreciated that very much. Because I've read a lot of kid fantasy books, and a lot of them. And while there are similarities, like we said, to like Narnia, there were certain things that were totally unique. Like the world is, yes, they're talking animals, but it's not just talking animals. They used to be pets. you know, and it's like pet heaven, I guess, you know, like kind of, but it's
the
not
farm up the road.
Yeah, you know, but like, you know, things like that, or like the way magic worked as opposed to the techno magic and how it affected sensitives like her, turns out, you know, and all those things, and the Twistrose statues and how she, because of her sensitivity, was able to see the hidden statue, you know, things like that. Just some of that stuff was really interesting. The sled was great. The fact that they were able to, I mean, you know, it is a kid's book and it's a happy ending, so I know David doesn't like that, and we'll get to that in a minute, but I liked a good happy ending where everything worked out in the end. And the bad guys got their comeuppance. Always. Alright, things we didn't like. I don't know. I liked it. I recommended it. Anything you didn't like?
No, not really.
Okay, David, what didn't you like?
I didn't like how the ending ended so quick. The story kind of just flowed, and then suddenly, bam, the end.
It was fast.
Yeah. There was something else.
You didn't like that it was a Scooby-Doo ending.
Yeah, it was.
That.
Yeah, it was.
There was a Scooby-Doo ending?
Yeah.
Now you're messing with me. Now you're lying.
That was David's opinion. Scooby-Doo ending means it's all happy and everybody, you know.
Oh, I thought you pulled off.
There was
Yeah,
Creepy
turns
old
out it's
Miller.
old man Jenkins.
it was Old Man Jenkins. It was. I'm sorry. No.
I also.
That was a firework.
Outside
Yeah,
firework of some
firework.
kind.
I also had the feeling that parts of the story were kind of reminded me of Harry Potter a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went, man, you just need to keep your story for your own story, not kind of like steal ideas from other stuff. Like the one point to Miss Rosenquist, it kind of reminded me of the
like the house points.
yeah, where they go 10
I
points.
I
to
didn't
the
think
Gryffindor
that.
or whatever.
I didn't think that at all. But
And then it kind of reminded me of that a little
I
bit.
think it was written in like 2012.
Copyrights 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely post Harry
Post
Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But then again, J.K. Rowling stole Harry Potter from Neil Gaiman. So.
Of course.
yeah.
I just
Books
thought,
of
like,
Magic came out in
you
1990.
should just kept your own ideas, not kind of borrow something from other
Right, but
things.
people do points. We've been doing tally systems and
I
points
know.
for years
I know,
before
but
Harry Potter.
It
It made you think of it. It didn't
Yeah.
make me think of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There was something else too. Well, I don't really remember. I didn't really like the sled.
You didn't like the sled? Oh, I
No.
liked the sled. That's okay.
I mean, a
It was
It was a caravan sled.
Caravan
and it
sled,
was-
yeah.
Karen sled,
Yeah.
but it's a little. What's the Greek philosophy? The Greek Deus Ex Machina. It just comes out like.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it
Yeah.
did kind of appear out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I just
But
Machine
really
of the
care
Gods
for it.
or whatever.
Yeah.
you know, yes and no.
Because it was there at the beginning. We
It
just
was
didn't know
at,
how
it was
important
at the
it was at
beginning. They repaired it.
They
And-
used it, and it took them to a place that they shouldn't have found otherwise.
Yeah, it didn't.
That's
It didn't
true.
come from nothing and nowhere.
But
And-
like many
and it
things, the
had
pieces
been
go together
searching.
later.
I mean, it had been
You
keeping
find
an
more
eye on them.
information and stuff.
You
yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
it didn't seem to me like it just suddenly appeared out of nowhere and rescued.
But yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really have many problems with the book. I thought it was a good read.
I
Lewis.
didn't really have any major problems with the book. Like I said, I felt like it was an easy read. It didn't actually take me that long to read through it, honestly. I did think it was something of a missed opportunity that, unless I missed it, for how much we hear about Nicholas, her friend, we never really see him.
No, because they'd moved away.
Yeah, but I felt like
I thought he was
Right.
coming back the whole time. I thought he was coming back.
And not until the end when her mom's like, hey, let's invite him to come visit.
yeah, but
You kept hoping that he ended up there too.
what I kept hoping, well, okay, when we got to the point where we see the Margrave as
Is actually
Esteban or whatever his name was,
I thought it was going to be her friend.
No.
I
At first-
expected
at
it to be
first.
Nicholas. Like
Really? Like-
during the time that she was in this world, time passed in her world in such a manner that here, suddenly he's a bad person because she's not in his life anymore. Maybe he's gone
okay.
through 20, 30
Yeah,
years.
I
and he's
kind of thought about
become
that.
I think
sour,
there
you
actually
know?
may be a sequel to this one, and it may involve him.
Well, there's
But I don't know.
the version that I read was on Internet Archive, and it had an author Q&A in the back of it. And what she said was that it's not she wrote not a sequel, but like something else set in this world. So there's
okay.
a little bit of tie-in, but not like a continuation of the plot.
Got it.
It's the next story, just not involving these characters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
So yeah,
I knew another one existed. I just hadn't
Yeah.
read it. So
I mean, that was it. And even then, that's like a dumb thing to complain about. I expected it to happen, and it didn't happen. And I'm like,
right.
oh, come on.
It feels like it's foreshadowed, and then
Yeah.
there's no payoff.
See, I didn't feel that way, but
I always assumed her friend was going to be the villain at the end.
Who?
no, it's not her friend. It's
Should've
someone
been.
else.
Oh, Rufus?
No.
No.
Her friend from Earth.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Nicholas
But there's
was
only
her
one
friend.
Twistrose called at a time.
Yeah.
But that's the legend. They could have called it. I'm not.
It's
gonna-
okay. You'll see it.
Yeah.
Did you see who it was? Did you get to see who
No.
it was? Oh.
She's being tortured by the beard.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, she hasn't been. It's about to happen. You were just pages away from the reveal.
Yeah.
I gave up. I told Millie, I was like, I got 4 more chapters. I'm not going to be able to get 4 chapters done in 4 minutes.
I don't know. You might have. It's a quick
Hey,
read.
I was at 50% of the book this morning, and I actually ran errands, put gas in the car, worked on some
No, I
food,
got all that done today
like,
too.
and managed to finish. But I was finishing after you guys got here. But
I
yeah.
was like 5 o'clock deadline.
Bonnie reads at the speed of wow.
Millie,
I really only had 2 issues with this book because for the most part I liked it. I feel like I might have liked it a little bit more if I had been the age to read it.
Right.
Like I might have been one of those books where it's like, oh my gosh, I remember this book when I was a kid, kind
Yeah.
of thing. But the only 2 real issues I have is not Nicholas, but I thought Iceman, considering how much they talked about him and they were going to look for him, I thought him as a character would have more of a current presence, not just talking about, oh yeah, last time I saw him he was buying 15 waffles, whatever.
Right.
I thought that character would have more to do with just everything once they found him.
Right, but then they killed him.
But then it's like, oh,
We found him and killed him, and you're like, wait, he's supposed to be. The bad guy needs him, and we need him. Everybody needs him, and now he's
after I
dead.
had that initial like, oh my god, I didn't expect that, there was a part that's like, all this and he's dead?
Right?
Like,
Right?
You killed the very person they needed? What kind of
They
crap
found
is
his
that?
mom.
Right?
They
They
did
found
find
his mom. But just that immediate afterward.
I know.
Dead,
Can you imagine being a kid and reading
Right.
this? I would have been so mad at
I
that
was
point
like-
as a child.
Yeah, I was like, what was even the point?
Right.
It's going funny if you're just going to have Ursa Minor kill him by accident. The villain did
Which is why we as grown-ups can laugh about it. But as a child,
Right?
if we'd been reading it, like, you know,
Yeah.
do you know what happened?
That made me
So
think of
bad.
that bit in the 4th Harry Potter movie. I killed Harry Potter.
Oh.
Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh great, the villain couldn't kill him on purpose, but
And
the
his
bear
friend
killed
killed him,
him. Oh my
Yeah.
god. So there was that moment that moment where I was like, why didn't I finish this stupid book? And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta finish all the books. Okay.
Book club.
Yeah, book club.
Finishing
And
books.
so that was like one of my, I guess you could say, issues. I mean, I'm glad that he was not dead by the end of it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is the stupidest point in the
We've been searching. And it gets to the point where you think everything's failed, everything's lost, and but that's good.
I was like, all right,
Take your hero
give
back.
up, go home, they're all done.
Yeah.
And not only that, find the kid dies, find the mom. Oh, by the way, mom, your son is dead. Oh, fuck.
Right?
He was supposed to help me because I'm dying.
And you're like, what's the point of this book?
I can't do the magic.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
And the only other problem I had was that bit where Theodore's like, I figured it out, and then he runs off. And I'm like,
You couldn't tell us before
you can't take 2 seconds to tell us what's going on?
No, I can't.
Right?
I'm going to find him.
I can't come back. I don't know how it works.
I'm like, come on! That's
My
one thing that
waffles are getting cold.
that's a trope that bugs me when it's in a book or a movie or a show.
Especially when it's supposed to be like an adult, because he was
Yeah.
old.
He was older, yeah. When the adult's like, I figured it out. Figure this on your own, kid. I'm going.
Yeah, you're like,
Well,
Gandalf, you just left us.
he was an adult, but like he was also kind of a prick.
Yeah, he kind of
Yeah.
was. No, he totally
Like,
was.
it's his character. It fits perfectly.
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
but, like,
it would be
He was a
bad.
rumpus.
It would
He
be
was.
bad enough if I as an adult was there and he ran off. But if I'm like a kid and the only like adult,
you got this.
The only adult in the room
don't.
knows what's going on. But like, you know what? You got this, kid. I have every confidence that you're gonna do this. And you're like, I'm 10,
right? Literally, and not only that, he had the time to say, "I don't have the time to tell you what's wrong," and then left.
Right?
Like,
yes.
He literally could have just said, "Oh, it's XYZ."
Yeah. I'll go into more detail later, but
they didn't want to give up the suspense.
No,
I know, but it's irritating.
Well, yeah, as a writer, I get it, but like,
as
a reader, I'm like, just freaking kill him already.
As a character action, it's like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
Right?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
So it's like, oh, great, we've got no idea what's going on. The one person we're looking for is dead.
And the person
guy who knows what's happening may die out there by himself.
It's like, it was just one of those, it was like the one moment where I was like, I'm done. No.
But you liked it in the end.
I liked it in the end, but that moment of, why am I more frustrated than the main character?
The main character's in shock.
Right? If I was the main character, I'd be crying because I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
And the bear I'm with just killed this other kid, you know?
Right.
So.
Alright, I had a pet emu as a child.
No,
so does
you
it?
did not,
I
really?
did.
An
Yeah.
emu?
Emu, 6 foot tall pet emu.
Holy shit!
So
Did
does
it
it?
talk?
No. So does that mean
now,
there's
I
a
don't know.
12-foot tall emu running around in not Narnia?
In not Narnia. Yes. Yeah. Well, maybe not 12. Maybe just half that. So 9 foot.
9. Well, again, the rules of this
And
world.
he's like a bookbinder as well.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you about my pet emu one time. It almost killed my Uncle Butch.
Okay, that's a detail. Just drop and walk away from Theodore.
Again, look, example. Giving you a little bit of information, walking away, okay? And you're dealing with an animal who tried to kill someone.
Yep. But like this universe felt in certain places incredibly like thought out and developed, and in a lot of places just like, like the world building is inconsistent. I at no point actually got into the story.
Oh, that's too bad.
I could never figure out what anyone's motivations were.
What's my motivation?
Like I understand the villain's got to be mysterious, so I get like we don't get the villain's end goal until the big evil wrap up scene that happens in every evil.
Right,
You know.
which you were interested in. So.
Yeah. So I get that I don't get the villains, but you know.
That's kind of a fair point, actually. I didn't think about it until now, but like when Lynn first meets Theodore and he's essentially giving her the task, she kind of goes like, "But why me?" And he's like, "Well, I can't really tell you. Not
right?
now.
Like,
just go do it."
Just go do it.
Well, but
they kind of just go do it,
right?
Yeah.
Well, and her goal is, as much as she likes to stay with Rufus, that she has to save things. She has a timeline, and that's the only time she can go home is when she's accomplished this. So part of her doesn't want to go home, but by the end she realizes she does, and so there's but she got this added time with her friend, so it's special
And a chance to say goodbye.
Yes, properly.
Yeah. Like I just I kept the whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, I get the child in a magical land, but I'm like, there's so many franchises that do this so much better. Narnia.
I liked it because it was different.
Finding Nemo or Little Nemo.
Well, Finding Nemo.
Little Nemo.
It's all fish. Except
Wizard of Oz.
I'm a piranha.
Like I'm just like, there's so many properties that do that. I hate Fairyland. There's so many properties that do this better that I just couldn't get into it. I kept thinking, why am I not reading a better book? Like at no point did I care about these characters. At no point did I get into.
You're not a 13-year-old girl.
You're right. Well, here's the thing about this.
You didn't like Fighting Scar?
It was a good villain. But here's the thing. I came to was the David Bowie movie Labyrinth as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was beautiful. I got into it. Right. I saw the metaphor.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I saw the young budding child metaphor in Labyrinth. There's a lot of shiny stuff going on in this book, but at no point is there any character development. Is there any, I couldn't care about these characters whatsoever. When I was in creative writing class, they told me, and again, it could be cliche because this is coming from school, but if you're going to have this crazy, expansive universe, your plot needs to be simple. If you're going to have a crazy, out of control plot, your world needs to be simple.
Oh, as like a foil.
So people can.
It depends.
No, so people can keep locked in on something. Like we have a crazy fantasy world. I couldn't tell you what the plot was. I asked Bonnie at the beginning to please tell me what the plot was.
It was simple. Find the kid, save the world before midnight. That is the essence of the plot.
Okay. At no point did I get that from the book.
Really? Because they explained it kind of early on.
I got it.
Theodore explains it.
I think your problem is you kept falling asleep.
No, because I was listening even when I was snoring, because I could hear the book and the snoring.
Yeah. You missed stuff.
Okay,
you
yeah,
missed
yeah.
stuff. That's
No.
right.
Yeah, loser.
Oh, hey now.
It just.
See, because for me, having lost pets as a child, I could totally empathize with how she was feeling at the beginning. She's lost a pet. She's had to move. Now they're stuck there longer than she expected. And all of a sudden, she's in a world where she gets her best friend back.
I might even venture to say that maybe, and this is just maybe he might have liked it a little bit better if he had a better reader, because he put it into, what was that program? The Kindle Reader, and it read it very...
It's a computer.
That's very monotone. That's not fun. Yeah.
That's not engaging at all. Yeah.
No, because I liked it when I was reading it, but I listened to a little bit of it when he was listening. I'm like, oh god, if I listened to this audio version, I wouldn't.
My mind would go numb.
I'd be like,
That'd be like listening to lectures by Mr. Dozier, my history teacher in high school. He spoke in monotone.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Bueller's Day Off, that guy. That's how it's history. You gotta make it interesting. You can't just keep talking like this and expect your students to stay awake. It's not.
I'd tell them, hey, teacher, you suck.
He was a cool guy. He was a nice guy, but
I don't
oh my
care.
gosh.
But I feel
You're
like
making this boring. This sucks.
I feel like the monotone reading didn't help it. Because, like I said, I enjoyed it while I was actually physically reading it, but I could put my own spin on the characters and my own whatever.
And for you and Justin, I will record with voices and everything at some point, and you guys can enjoy it for real.
And maybe you could get YouTube likes on it if you put it on there.
You probably get copyright depending on
I get in trouble.
You can't just narrate a book modernly like that.
Right?
There are people who do it,
Uh-huh.
and I'm surprised there's one guy who's it's him in front of a camera reading Stephen King's It out loud.
Yeah, they must get hit with a copyright claim every single time.
I think Stephen King's probably cool with it because
He might be.
Probably gets part of the royalties.
There's
no payment.
Well, yeah, that's assuming the channel's big enough to make
YouTube
money.
gets
It's
money.
not-
Right, but I wouldn't do it.
I've been
I'm just going to
posting-
record it for you guys. Maybe I'd put it available for my students if they were reading the book to have an audio version, since there isn't one. But
there definitely needs to be an audio version, but I couldn't get into it. I couldn't care less. There were moments of brilliance. I love the idea of the animals being pets, and there's unique stuff here. I just don't think it was capitalized on. I think a better writer could have used these elements in a much better story.
all right, fair enough.
Well, this was her first book,
Mhm.
so I thought she did fairly well.
Yeah, it wasn't a difficult read.
No.
Yeah, really good villain.
Given the
Yeah,
intent
I
of
like
the audience,
Frankenstein.
I don't know if the plot could have been complicated and multi-layered more
I don't
without
think it needed to be
alienating.
because
Yeah, no, it was a simple. It was a
It
simple
was
plot. Yeah,
geared to a young girl.
there's
Exactly.
constantly things happening to prevent, to cause problems. You gotta have.
Yeah.
You have to have that in a plot, or it's not interesting at all. But
Yes.
the main plot stayed the same. We have to find
Well,
the kid. We have to save the day.
Maybe because the plot of Mad Max Fury Road is we're going from point A to point B.
Mhm.
That's the plot, and stuff happens preventing us from getting to point B. I couldn't tell you what they were trying to accomplish.
Because you were asleep.
You're asleep.
No, I'm telling you, it is told to us early on.
You were told you got to do the thing.
You have to find the winter first because he's the only one who can make the magic snow, and that's the only way the portal to Earth can get back, so she can get back. And it saves the world. It saves the magic. And that has to happen before midnight on this special holiday, before the Wanderer.
The Wanderer
Star.
I think it was probably
like a meteor, not a comet. The comet, yes, a comet leaves the sky, and that happens just at 9 minutes after midnight.
Which was like in like
really specific.
25 hours.
Right, because time is slower there. But yes, so it was laid out, just really kind of early on when you're still figuring out what's going on in general. So it could be that you just missed it because you were still figuring out like. One thing that I thought was kind of sweet, because you know how Rufus mostly lived in her pocket. And when you go to where he lives and how it's lined and everything, and it's as much like a pocket as it could be. His her pocket, like her cardigan pocket. You're like, oh, that's kind of sweet, you know, the way the animal, you know, which is just a little sweet little moment. But yeah, any final thoughts?
Or did Justin have?
Oh, Justin, did you not like?
negative
He
qualms?
only read 7 chapters.
There's enough to hate in 7 chapters.
Okay, Mr. Downer over here.
I'm easily amused and stuff, so there wasn't anything that I didn't like or dislike about it
Okay.
that I was able to notice.
All right. So, final thoughts. I did one already.
You did one already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking about the pocket house.
Oh. I actually had one about 8 minutes ago, but
Forgot it?
I forgot it.
We can come back. David, final thoughts?
I think this would make like a little good mini series like on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it animated. I think.
Oh, animated. It would be beautiful.
That
Yeah.
would be cool, yeah.
With the right artist, could be Studio Ghibli could do it.
Miyazaki, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was picturing in my head.
See, I was thinking like the old school Rankin Bass cartoons.
Ooh, okay,
Ooh.
okay.
Yeah, because like I'm thinking of like the Wind in the Willows, those kind of humanoid
Yeah,
animals,
yeah,
and
yeah,
everybody's
I can
like
see that.
slightly British, you know?
Right, right,
Slightly.
okay.
Like I
Slightly,
think like vaguely enough to be charming and have a different accent for American kids to be
No.
into. Like
Yeah. That's cool.
The Red Wall
yeah.
guy that does Red Wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would probably come out as probably a good anime or a little mini, like 2-3 part mini series or something.
Yeah, if you keep it short, then there would be no filler, and that'd be great.
Yes, you don't need filler. Keep it
And they
simple.
need it to. I'm not sure if I caught it in the end, but I'm not sure if they left it open for a sequel or not.
Not really. No, I mean,
They should-
not. It
Well,
left it open
there
for
are
the
unanswered
idea.
questions,
Like,
because the Margrave is still alive, as far
Yes.
as we know. The cat,
His
Figgenscar,
tail
His tail's cut
his
off.
tail's cut off, so he's got a grudge now. He's still alive, as far as we know, unless the Margrave killed him.
yeah, which is very possible.
Yeah, and
Figgenscar would win.
and the Margrave did not accomplish his goal, which was to steal the life force of a magical child.
at
Right.
the thing.
So in
yeah.
theory, in the next 94 years, when another Twistrose comes by, the Margrave might still be alive. There is potential for a sequel,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I don't know if it needs it.
It doesn't need it. Not really.
Well, it kind of implied the Margrave was getting his powers from the thorn drip, which was poisoning him.
Mm-hmm.
And so
If he
he
didn't get
was
the-
desperate to get the
That's true. He may
essence
not have
of the
survived.
magical
Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
and in doing so, that would give him the power he needed to continue living.
See, I saw his being poisoned as sort of like how the more, going back to Harry Potter, the more Voldemort split his soul, the more snake-like and demonic and dark he became. But the Margrave was actually dying as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So there's that. So we don't know.
And he was the one Twistrose that didn't return.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Which was also a motivating factor, you know. It was Theodore saying, I know you don't really want to go, but you don't want to end up like him either.
Right, but she had her moment where she realized she wanted to go.
Yeah.
and it was completely unprompted by anyone else. It was her moment of
Decision.
oh, I need to go home to my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they also made the pact of, hey, I'm
Checking
gonna
in,
I'm gonna look at you at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So she could probably just write him notes and stuff.
Yeah, they
Like-
could. Yeah, he could see. They can't
Yeah.
actually talk, but she can.
Yeah, but she could write notes to
little
him.
notes to him. Yeah, which was
Yeah.
cute. That was sweet. So David, what rating would you give this one?
I'd give it like a 8.5.
Okay.
I'd probably give it 7.5 out of 10. I'm glad I read it. I don't regret it at all.
No, it's fun.
And I feel like it's definitely a quick read, so if you're curious about it, you could read it in like a week at most,
Yeah.
you know.
I agree. I'd give it a 7.5 to an 8.
2, 3, Brandon, 4.
Did you like it more than Maze Runner, Brandon?
Actually, Maze Runner had a battle.
Oh my gosh!
You didn't get to the battle. How would you know?
Maze Runner had that big siege.
You didn't finish the book. You don't get to rate it. Just kidding. I'm sorry. You missed the end. I'd give it an 8.
I'd give it a 2 for kid torture.
Oh my gosh! All right. Most of us recommend it. Everyone who finished the book said it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for the one who listened to it in monotone and didn't finish, we're sorry that was your experience.
Loser.
Go get the TARDIS.
The TARDIS.
You said that in unison like it's our catchphrase. Go get the TARDIS.
I get such a big go get the TARDIS. Oh my
I
god.
thought Tony Almhjell. I thought she did.
Mjolnir? Tony Mjolnir?
Don't tease her name.
See, that's the one
I thought
Swedish
she-
word we know how to say.
Right, it's the only one.
I thought she did a good
Yeah.
job for it.
Okay,
being
who's
her
pulling?
first book? I thought she
I
did a
thought
good
it was
job.
whoever was it.
Definitely.
Good. Okay.
Well, I know Lewis pulled last time.
I did, yeah.
Ready?
I think last
Because
time
it was his
my
book, and then
yeah.
I was gonna pull because it's
I'm
my
sorry.
book.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
okay.
Do you want to do it?
It's okay.
That's Bonnie's book. Let it pull.
All right.
That's
Bonnie
what we're
pull.
doing now.
I don't know. That's kind of how we
Now
decided.
she's gonna pull out her other one.
But a lot of these are stuck together, so I don't know. All right, whose is this?
It's
I don't know.
folded.
It's
Bonnie.
folded.
How the hell do we know?
Nation by Terry Pratchett, suggested
Oh.
by Wayne Abraham, and it is not a Discworld book. It's a separate book,
It's its own book.
own
Nation.
standalone book. Yes.
Mr. Terry Pratchett.
It's not a
It's
Discworld.
not a Discworld book.
Are you sure?
Yes,
I'm
because I
positive.
read it.
Is it not like a multiverse?
Nope.
I'll take a picture for everyone.
It's not at all related.
The book club.
Alright.
Multiverse.
Well, we need to sign out. We gotta end this
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, bye.
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 So, there you have it. That was our in-depth review of the Twistrose Key by...
Tone Almhjell.
And once again, that author's name was...
Tone Almhjell.
So, I hope you enjoyed our in-depth review. Up next is Nation by Terry Pratchett. This is a non-Discworld book. He wrote a few non-Discworld books. Terry Pratchett, the great satirist. We started this podcast back in, I believe, 2016 with a Discworld book, Pyramids by Terry Pratchett. And then we have also done Good Omens. So we are this is not the first time we have read a Terry Pratchett novel. Probably won't be the last time. Unfortunately, one of our fellow merry men, Dave, is not a Terry Pratchett fan. He not a fan of parody or satire. But Dave's a cranky old man. And he doesn't listen to these outros anyway. So, Coming up next is Nation by Terry Pratchett. If you want to support this podcast or any of the other adventures that we have, projects coming out at Destiny Comics, patreon.com/Destiny Comics, destinycomics.weebly.com for our store. Remember, every Sunday, if you're on the Patreon, you get the new funnies, as well as a few other things. You get first dibs at the podcast, because it goes up there first before going live everywhere else. And yeah, I want to thank you, faithful listeners of the Bookie Podcast. We can't keep doing this without supporters like you. I hope you'll think about throwing a couple of shekels towards us. We've been around a long time, but we don't have any kind of advertiser. We don't get advertisers. We don't get anything like that because our numbers are all over the place. Because I understand it. The average listener of the Bookies podcast comes in, listens to a review of their favorite book, and bounce. That's why, books like Tarzan, didn't do as well as something like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. People come in, they listen, and then they bounce. But that's okay. If you are a faithful listener, I hope you would just help us out. Just check out the Patreon, check out the store, bookmarks galore, all that fun stuff. And that's it for a while. Coming up is Nation by Terry Pratchett.